Why would you want to be this? Like, even your own fan base is like, Ben, this is sad. I know the right has everything, but I think they're actually imploding. I know he hates himself. At least that helps me sleep at night. There's no way Ben Shapiro is like happy. Are people now starting to realize how psycho Ben Shapiro's with his ideologies? All right, nice. Even the Ben Shapiro fan base realizes that he's a fucking idiot. All right, let's look into this. Ben Gooffuck Shapiro signed my petition to pardon Derek Chauvin. Also, black people are on to you that this is just some bullshit to piss us off. But it's always a good time to make fun of your goofy ass, so let's see what he says.
One person that President
Like, how do you even go about trying to justify this?
Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial, but I think that it's absolutely necessary. That person is Derek Chauvin.
Also, according to some other people I saw, I didn't read this. This is like third-hand information. But he got, first off, he confessed. So, like, what are we doing? And then also, or he took like a plea deal. So, like, again, what are we doing? And then also he, like, it's a state case. So even if Trump federally pardoned him, it wouldn't do shit. And also Ben is a lawyer. So if that's true, he knows this and he's just a grifting little bitch. So just keep that in mind. And lastly, if your eyebrows are that much thicker than your beard, then you shouldn't grow a beard. And he should know that at this age. And that's why I will never respect him. Amongst a bunch of other shit.
President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin.
There it is.
He should. He should pardon him his federal charges. If we are talking about reversing the evils of the last several years in American life, obviously COVID and its handling was a massive evil. Destroyed the economy, set us on a path to fiscal insanity, destroyed children.
Who was president when that happened?
Led to massive health-related cover-ups. Just horrifying all the way around. And President Trump has taken on a lot of those things. But when it came to BLM, the inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime, was in fact the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. The evidence demonstrates that Derek Chauvin did not in fact commit murder of George Floyd.
It does, though. Like, for my Candace video, I had to look into this trial, and there was like several doctors that said like what he did killed him. So it's like, what are you talking about? And remember when the Republicans, like when shit was going down with the BLM stuff, and they're like, everybody agrees that this man is guilty. So I don't know what we're so upset about. Remember that? Do you guys remember that, or is that just me?
Floyd was high on. He had a significant pre-existing heart condition. George Floyd was saying he could not breathe before he was even out of the car. He was in the car saying he could not breathe. Derek Chauvin, for large segments of even the tape that was shown, had his knee on George Floyd's shoulder or back, not on his neck. The autopsy of George Floyd showed that he had no damage to his trachea.
Yeah, oh my God. Nobody's saying that he crushed his throat, dude.
That probably George Floyd died of excited delirium. There were no accusations, even at trial, that Derek Chauvin had committed a hate crime against George Floyd or that he targeted George Floyd because
he didn't get charged for a hate crime
of his race. Nonetheless, on the basis of extraordinarily
actually, I don't know if that's true, but I don't think so.
Anti-evidence. And despite the fact that there was massive pressure on the jury, that the mayor of Minneapolis paid a settlement to the George Floyd family immediately, that the President of the United States suggested that Derek Chauvin was guilty.
Right? Oh my God, this is so pathetic. Like, I wonder, like, I know Ben, like, in doing this, he doesn't even want to say this. It's so weak and spineless.
Right off the bat, that the jurors were being openly threatened and admitted as much. Despite all of that, Derek Chauvin was convicted on federal charges and pled guilty to federal charges. Derek Chauvin should, in fact, be pardoned on that. We will be covering that a lot more in coming weeks. Because
for why? Why now, too?
I think it is worthwhile to remember that there is a man.
Once we get to 100, Tyler, I didn't forget.
Who is rotting in prison because the media decided in the middle of 2020 that they were going to turn a tragic law enforcement stop that ended with the death of a man who had a significant problem with drugs and pre-existing health problems into the raison d'etre of the entire 2020 election. And it led to vast chaos, It led to, again, the destruction of racial comedy in the United States.
I don't know why he keeps talking about all of the things that it led to. Like, if we're talking about pardoning a man who is innocent, shouldn't, like, what do people reacting to the trial have to do with anything? I mean, you could talk about the pressures of it, but shouldn't the focus be on, like, the fact that he didn't do it? You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't that be what you're focused on?
States, $2 billion
He hasn't said anything yet.
in property damage, and a guy rotting in prison.
He just keeps talking about property damage. Like, if it was $20 trillion in property damage, that wouldn't change the events that have occurred, Benjamin.
Who the evidence demonstrates certainly was not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in that case. If we're going to talk about delivering pardons, President Trump, I think, should really seriously consider pardoning on federal
This is so sad.
charges. He can't pardon on state charges. Derek
Okay, so he would stay in jail. So, like, what? Like, he would stay in prison, though.
Chauvin, who was convicted of the murder of George Floyd. As I say, we will be covering this pretty extensively in the coming weeks. Right now, you should go to pardonderek.com and sign our petition asking President Trump to grant justice to Officer Derek Chauvin.
I don't even think Trump is this fucking stupid.
That is pardon, P-A-R-D-O-N, Derek.
This is what happens. This is why you probably don't want to, like, even if your kid is smart, you don't want him to skip grades. Because from what I understand, Ben was the kid who, like, skipped multiple grades. He got bullied in high school. He probably didn't have any friends. You know, ultra religious. If that's your thing, that's your thing. God bless. But this is what this can turn you into. Ben is the prime example of the teacher, you forgot the homework. He's that guy just as an adult. And it's like, ugh. He just does that with, like, racism. And it's like, ugh. Why would you want to be this? Like, even your own fan base is like, Ben, this is sad. We'll go through the comments after, but, like, yikes. This is pathetic. Like, this is the type of shit where, like, if I was Ben, I would truly hate myself. Because it's like, damn, I have audience capture. I know I just have to say, like, fuck shit. Views are down. I don't really have anything new to add. Bill Burr's bodying me. Every time I try to make fun of him, everybody makes fun of me. I'm not funny. Every time I try to rap, people make fun of me. I fucking suck. I look weird. Like, this is what this turns you into.
.com, PARDONDEREK.com. Well, folks, tonight, Daily Wire Backstage returns live for President Donald Trump's address to a joint session of Congress. We are covering it all.
And he hates Trump, too, by the way. He hates Donald Trump.
Like
but he knows he has to suck Trump tip because that's who his audience is. And that sucks.
With Matt Walsh and me, live from D.C. Do not miss the exclusive pre-show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by the full address, Eastern. Announced a little bit earlier this week that he wants to posthumously pardon baseball legend Pete Rose. He wrote in a Saturday Truth Social post, quote, Major League Baseball didn't have the courage or decency to put the late, great Pete Rose, also known as Charlie Hustle, into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now he's dead. We'll never experience the thrill of being selected, even though he was a...
This is pathetic. We get it, right? I don't know who Pete Rose is. 61 views in 2 days on a channel with 7.23 million subscribers. LOL, damn. Ben must be disappointed. He tried to create division, and the opposite is happening. Everyone agrees that this is a very ignorant, idiotic, and foolish idea. These are his people. This dude out his mind and incredibly controversial is an understatement. LOL. Shapiro made a whole angry video about Bill Burr saying free Luigi. His argument was that this is always bad. I mean...
Trump can only pardon the federal charges. There is still the 20-year state sentence he has to serve. Ben knows this.
That's what I'm saying.
But he knows that his audience doesn't know it. So he can rage bait for views with impunity.
TJ, appreciate you, and exactly. Like, that's why it's extra sad. Like, bro, you're a lawyer. You know that it wouldn't even do anything, so why are you fighting so hard for these charges to get removed? It's not even going to change shit. Like, what? This is a clear attempt at rage bait. And especially if you're bitching about, like, what all the aftermath did, it's like, well, what do you think this would do? You don't think there's a possibility of restarting this shit? So it's like, you don't even care about the destruction. Because why would you stroke the fires of something that caused all this destruction if you care so much about these people that got fucked? Because like, yeah, that would suck if I'm a fucking business owner and my shit gets burnt down, and I don't like, even if I do get the money back, like that's fucking horrible. But like, clearly you don't even care about those people. It seems like the only thing you're interested in is pissing off black people. That's where I'm like, some people were like, Ben Shapiro's not a white supremacist. I'm like, okay. I think he is, but okay. Not only is he rotting in prison, he was recently stabbed like 30 times and left in critical condition. Okay, this guy seems to agree. So we got one. When you listen to Ben Shapiro for 2 minutes straight and then close your eyes, boom, a chihuahua appears. Go ahead and try. Well, I definitely do see a bitch. I don't see a chihuahua. I feel like chihuahuas have more like energy and more bark. You know what I mean? He has more of just like I don't even know. I don't even think of like a dog because dogs are like fun. I just think of like a dork. He is the prime, and not a nerd, not a geek, but a dork. Ben is a fucking dork. He killed a guy on TV. Roles reversed, you'd be advocating for the death penalty. Damn, these are his people. It's official. Ben has lost it. I cannot believe this is real. Are people now starting to realize how psycho Ben Shapiro's with his ideologies? I mean, like, look, from my perspective, genuinely, I know the right has everything, but I think they're actually imploding. I think they're imploding, and this is a sign. Well, I mean, this is kind of a sign. But, like, what? Like, how are you this out of touch that you thought this was going to work? This is actually pathetic. Ben is such a fucking loser, dude. I know he hates himself. At least that helps me sleep at night. There's no way Ben Shapiro is, like, happy when he looks in the mirror. He must be like, fuck, another day of fucking bullshit.